I'm Joni Patrie and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I want to talk about the month of January because this starts a whole new year of 2017, which this will be quite a spectacular year for all of us. And as we well know, the beginning of this month starts out with a very treacherous aspect of Neptune and Mars being exactly conjunct at 15 degrees of Aquarius, which I have noted many times is the exact degree opposite of the September 1st solar eclipse of 15 Leo. This usually triggers some type of violence, and hopefully, because of all of the things that have been just transpiring, there is an enormous amount of protection that has been situated around the world, and this can avert very treacherous things from happening. But overall, this is still a very dangerous time. And throughout the month of January, we have incredible dangers ahead because Mars, the position of Mars, is the planet which deals with war and disruption and anger, is activated to its highest degree. So let me talk about some of the things to look forward to aside from the very beginning parts of this month, which we start out the month with a bang. New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. So this month, Saturn is going to shift into the sign of Sagittarius, which is the sign that deals most with treachery or rules, laws. I want to say that Saturn has a lot to do with fundamentalist beliefs because Sagittarius is relative to the ninth sign, which deals with the law, but it also deals with spirituality, but very strong opinions about things. And as Saturn moves into the sign, you're going to see more fundamentalism, more people in an uproar, more people angry. Things are going to start to get heated up based on people's beliefs and their views of the world. And this is a global event that will be happening throughout this year. So Saturn will stay in the sign of Sagittarius till about the third week of June, when it will transit backwards into the sign of Scorpio. And as it transits backwards into Scorpio, it will remain there till around the end of October. And during this time, things will again become very violent and heated up around the summer months, particularly around the time of the solar eclipse that we have happening around August 21st. There's going to be a solar eclipse, a total solar eclipse that will be quite treacherous and quite violent. Along with that, in the month of July, we have the Sun-Mars conjunction that will come together, and this will relate to some very angry disputes and outbursts and explosive events on top of that. So this is all kind of brewing, but right now, while Saturn does go into the sign of Sagittarius, you will see trends with oil and gas change, because when Saturn was going through Scorpio, this made the prices of gasoline fall considerably, and it will go back up, but with an up and down flavor that you will see throughout this year. So moving towards another incredible aspect that I see happening this year, this is the Jupiter and the Uranus opposition. And it makes me smile because I know it's going to bring great windfalls of change that are extraordinarily positive. Because as Jupiter goes into the very last degrees of Virgo, where it will station in February at 29 degrees of Virgo, this is conjunct the fixed star Spica. And Spica is the fixed star that is the most auspicious in the heavens. It is fabulous. It will bring cures for diseases happening in the sign of Virgo. It will bring Incredible changes for some people, major change of windfalls for good, luck, sudden winnings, and sudden overnight sensations, because that's what I call spike up, an overnight sensation. Many people that have this planets with this fixed star, which is 29 degrees of Virgo, 0 degrees of Libra. Remember, I'm talking the sidereal zodiac used in Vedic astrology, will have an overnight sensation in their life. Most definitely. This will be their best year. So you're going to want to check your chart out for that. But that opposition is going to be happening throughout this year. So major events and things will come about that are extraordinarily positive. And this will bring the major ups and downs in the economy. So if you think the economy is just going to go flat and stay there, think again, because this is going to be relative to the ups and downs. I do see some things going on a flat level, going down in the spring around April, but ups and downs again in many areas in the stock market. So pay attention to that. Another thing that I think I see that is going to be phenomenal is the fact that once we have this Venus is going to go retrograde this year, but around January 27th, Venus is going to go into Pisces. Pisces is the sign of its exaltation. So Venus in Pisces is going to be very auspicious. In the spring, it will go retrograde, and then it will go a little haywire, and it will cause some major complications in the economy. But rest assured that it will bring new loves and excitement to many. And even if you don't fall in love this year and you're in a relationship, your relationship will improve and get better. And likewise, you may be prompted to think and have some good memories about past loves and relationships, because Venus brings back these old feelings of sentiment and good feelings that maybe you'll get a call from an old love, or maybe a connection, or maybe just a memory that brings and warms your heart. So that's what Venus in Pisces will bring. But at the same time, it's going to cause some spikes in the economy. Venus does rule money. So looking at some of the dates and times for things to be expected, around January 5th through the 12th, the Sun will conjunct Pluto. And Pluto is massive change and transformation. The Sun in astrology represents world leaders. So there's some major shifts and change and awakenings concerning leaders and events around the world. And this may not be so positive, so there might be some threats of war, threats of fear, but there will be a breakdown of what is old and what is outdated and not working anymore in the society and in government. So Pluto is really strong in the sign of Sagittarius. Now, Saturn coming into the same sign that Pluto's in, which Saturn will take about 2 years before it comes together and exactly conjoins Pluto, but just coming into the same sign will cause destruction and breakdowns in the society. So you'll see this building and growing throughout the year. Now also, Saturn being in the last and final degrees of Scorpio, which Saturn will shift January 27th into the sign of Sag. But for the most part, during the month of January, Saturn will be what we call Gandanta, which means it's in its last and final degrees of a water sign. And this one happens to be quite treacherous because it's in Scorpio. Scorpio is, at the last degree of Scorpio, is the tail of the scorpion, where of course we have the stinger. And this represents poisons. So this could be a time of attacks that could deal with disease warfare or things of that nature, destruction that could cause disease. And we do have the Jupiter Uranus in the signs that can represent disease, but also healings. And major discoveries are coming about because of that opposition of Jupiter and Uranus, in terms of great things happening in terms of discoveries that cures certain diseases, as we just had the discovery of the cure for Ebola, which is just wonderful to have to alleviate so much suffering around the world. So January 7th through the 12th, Venus is going to conjoin K2 and Neptune. Venus deals with luxuries and wealth, and it also deals with relationships with each other, how we relate, how we have a relationship. And this can be not only in love relationships, but partnerships of any kind where we come together and work things out. And Venus here means some things will be discovered that possibly you didn't know about concerning relationships. So hidden secrets, hidden things that you don't want your partner to know about may be revealed during this time with Venus, because it brings out the truth. And if you haven't been truthful, this will come to pass. It will surface. January 10th through the 11th, the Sun will hit the midpoint in between Jupiter and Uranus opposition. It will come exactly to that midpoint and trigger what this aspect's about, which is sudden, unexpected events, a windfall, a big change for good and bad, depending on where it's related in your chart. But this can mean some surprises around leaders, presidents around the world, that some trigger will change and be very explosive, but the change will eventually lead to good, because the fixed star Spica is involved in this, which is the most auspicious star in the heavens. So January 8th, Mercury turns direct in the sign of Sagittarius. Throughout the year, Mercury will retrograde in fire signs, and this will produce major events moving forward in the area of communications, technology, as well as computers, not only technology, but how we think, progressive thinking and mind. This is a new future opening for the world throughout 2017. Now we know that January 20th is the inauguration of the President of the United States, but January 19th we have Mars squaring Saturn at 29 degrees of Aquarius. Mars will be 29 degrees of Aquarius, and Saturn is 29 degrees of Scorpio. This is treacherous and this is dangerous. And I might add that this particular degree does affect Donald Trump's chart powerfully, because in his chart he has the Sun at 29 degrees of Taurus and the Moon at 28 degrees of Scorpio. And Saturn will hit the Moon opposing the Sun while Mars squares both planets. And this causes disruption, change, problems on the day before inauguration. Something is due to be stirred up and create incredible violence and problems this month. This is extraordinarily dangerous. But I believe that because Jupiter is trining the Sun in Donald Trump's chart from 29 degrees of Virgo to 29 degrees in his very 10th house, Taurus, 29 Taurus to 29 Virgo, he will be protected. Okay, so, but the day after inauguration, or the day of inauguration, January 20th, Mars will shift into the sign of Pisces, 0 degrees. And as Mars is at 0 degrees of Pisces, it is exactly squaring the Mars that's in the United States chart that I use for July 4th, 1776. Mars is 0 degrees of Gemini, and this causes violence for the US. So there may be some peaceful demonstrations that can turn violent on that day. So I want you to be aware of how Venus and Saturn do shift signs on the same day, Venus going into Pisces and Saturn going into Sagittarius. Well, they're going to shift. Venus is going to be at 0 Pisces and Saturn's going to be at 0 Sag. They are aspecting one another as well. And this is a hard square. So there's a lot of contention going on in the world and going on this month. So with that, remember the words of Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa said that she would not participate in a protest for war, but she would participate in bringing peace. So don't focus on the negative. Focus on the positive. And what we all want in this world and in the nation of the United States, we all want the same thing. And that is for the highest good to come about for our country and for the world to be prosperous. So we have to concentrate on bringing peace, not opposing others. And remember, as I always remind everyone, what's going out there in the world is a mirror reflection of what's going on within all of us. And as you see what's going out there, you'll come to recognize that the more you find peace within yourself, the more you'll see peace out there. So if you have angry conflicts with others, it's because there's something within you stirring that anger deep, deep at your core essence, and that needs to stop. So with that, you can really see yourself better to understand what's going on out there. I've often said, and I truly believe, that Donald Trump is the reflection of our society and world. And the world has become a place of disrespect and dishonor and saying very mean things about one another. And there is our mirror image. Now, as we change, so will that mirror image change. And we have to believe that it's time to work on ourselves, because this is what it's all about in this world. To find what we can see within ourselves to change and heal our world, and consequently what's going on in the world at large. So with that, I'd like to close. And always remember, if you want more information, if you want to read more about what I have to say about predictions, you can always go to my website, which is galacticcenter.org. Or if you want to learn Vedic astrology, I have a university, universityofvedicastrology.com. Thank you.